And hello. I am actually doing another video, so that is good. I've been trying to set new patterns since the last video had a lot to do with letting go of old patterns. I have a habit of starting things and then not following through. So I thought, hey, if I make a second video the same day that I made the first one, a week later, it's kind of consistent. And maybe it'll help create a new pattern so that I don't think that I'm always going to give up on something just because that was the old pattern. So it's kind of real-time, real-time experience of like what I'm going through, at least as far as how to break through my own personal issues. And each of us has our own personal issues that are different, which is one of those things. So yeah. Basically, anytime that something happens and you assume that it's going to be a certain way because your past has always been a certain way, those are the types of patterns that I think are the most relevant right now to begin focusing on, and try to, first of all, find out where they started if you can, or isolate what part of your life it's affecting. Like for me, the whole I don't want to start something if I know that it's going to be a big, huge thing. If I know that I can't finish it, or if I don't have confidence in myself to finish a project, I'm too afraid to start something. And then recently I've gotten over that a lot, like at least with work-related things, where I've been starting projects knowing good and damn well that there is no way that I can finish it. And there's no way that I can even do most of the projects that I'm starting, but I'm creating like an opportunity for others to come in and do the other parts. I'm starting to learn to trust people to come in and finish the projects that I'm starting. And I don't even have those people lined up when I'm starting projects. I just feel like the universe is going to bring the people to me when I need them. Now we're channeling. Okay. Took a couple of minutes here in the video for me to get tuned. But yeah, I try to slow down my speech pattern because, as you may notice, when I start to channel, I do tend to talk a little faster, and it has to do with the fact that the vibrational pattern of the energy that I'm technically working with is at like a faster speed, and so it does take me some time to process the information and slow it down a little bit. It's weird because I'm not quite sure the group that I'm channeling. If I had to guess, it would just be kind of like an Arturian type subset. But then again, who knows? I mean, I really don't like labeling things anymore. I've gotten to the point now where I think that the more you label something, the more it limits your mind's ability to see its potential. If you don't label something, then it can be anything. It can change, it can morph, it can become whatever it is you need it to be. But if you label something, this is a straw. All it is a straw. All I can use it for is to drink soda, right? Maybe not. Maybe if I think outside the box, MacGyver this shit a little bit, that straw can become something that would save my life, A little bit of a stretch. True. But the point stands in that you cannot allow your mind to constantly label everything. And that goes all the way into the spiritual thing, that everything has to be so labeled. People always ask me, oh, what solar system are you from? What planet are you from? What star system? What race? Does everything have to be about race? People, come on. Sorry, little venting there. I know that it's because people are coming from a place of trying to use the context of this world to understand the context of the universe. That is the mistake. The context of this world does not directly correlate in like a way where you can say, because this equals this, then on a grander scale, this would equal this. That's not how it works. Like, things work a certain way here because of how we perceive those things in third-dimensional reality, sometimes fourth-dimensional, and if you're lucky, you'll get a couple of fifth-dimensional glimpses every now and again if you don't panic and shit yourself. The secret, though, is understanding that once you get outside of the third-dimensional reality, none of those rules matter. None of those limits, linear time even, isn't necessarily what we think it is. It is not the structured system that's designed to keep us constantly moving from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. I find myself constantly lately experiencing my life out of linear sequence, where I'll start having a conversation with somebody because I felt like, oh yeah, I need to talk to so-and-so about that thing that they told me about the other day. And I'll walk up and I'll start talking to them about it, and they'll say, no, I didn't tell you about anything the other day, but it's funny you asked because the other day I was going to tell you about a thing and I forgot. So I don't know if I did something out of linear time or if I just perceived it. It's hard to tell. And again, why label it, right? Whatever it was, it was. I will label that as simply as a synchronicity or a coincidence, and anytime those exist, they're never a bad thing. They're usually telling you that you're on the right path. The more synchronicities and coincidences that you perceive, the more you are in tune and in alignment with whatever it is that your higher self is focused on, whatever your soul's goal is. And not every soul has the same goal, okay? So idolizing somebody who's very spiritual or who's very successful in whatever it is they do and trying to take all of their qualities and make them your qualities is very dangerous, because the best qualities put on somebody that it isn't vibrationally compatible with are not the best qualities. They actually flip around and they become very negative qualities. They become very self-detrimental qualities if that person did not naturally evolve into them or adapt into them. So don't borrow other people's qualities, okay? I've been doing that my whole life, trying to chameleon my way into life, and it's not a healthy thing to do. So, yeah, we'll take a moment here to ponder. Yeah. Definitely some pondering. Okay. We'll move this camera a little bit, give you guys a little different view. Ooh. Full circle view. And now you're dizzy. Okay, we'll put that back now. Hey, there we go. So we talked about the patterns and how I'm personally working on that, and it's not just in like little things, it's in much bigger things. Thought patterns. The moment something happens, I catch myself and I think, what's my first thought? I tie those in with emotion a lot, because I say thought, but it's usually emotional. So like someone will say something to me and I'll feel an emotion and I'll have a thought. So it'll be like, hey, Brandon, did you hear? BTS's new song is like amazing. See, I mean, it is. Just saying, all of them are. So, ARMY. What? Yes, I said it. Deal with it. I think that the point of that, though, is that when I hear something, I get two things. Number one, the thought pattern of, oh, okay, either A, I should check this out, this sounds like an interesting thing, or B, like, no, it's not my thing, I'm not going to check it out. So, like, my thought goes into a two-part system. Yes, I want this information, and it jives with me. No, I don't, no, just no. But that's not the emotional part. Like, that's just the thought. That's just the logic. The left brain just, like, isolating the incidents, going, okay, whatever. These are the data, right? Then the superposition of the emotion comes in, and that's where it'll be like, ooh, this person is giving me all this emotion about how much they really love this thing. If they truly love it and they're telling me about it, I can feel that love, and it actually can, like, make you feel like, oh, dude, like, I never am into that kind of shit, but you know what? I feel that energy. I want to know more, And that's how I started listening to BTS, just saying. Sometimes when you use that kind of that double thing, the logic and the emotion, you can get yourself trapped, like in a circle where you're constantly going around and around and around. Logic this and then emotion, but my logic says this is the right thing to do, but my heart says this, and then my logic says this, and you go like in a loop. Those are tricky, and in the end, I don't believe in like looping yourself in any kind of thought pattern, because I used to spend literally endless nights looping myself in thought patterns of the what ifs or what could have beens that were irrelevant and not necessary to anything that I was doing in the moment. It was completely taking me outside of the moment. So I always fall on the, if you get stuck like in a loop where your logic is telling you one thing and your heart's telling you something else, your emotions telling you, something else, most people would say follow logic, but I say that's bullshit, okay? Your logic is just nothing more than programming that's been put into you since you were a child. A lot of that programming is corrupt, okay? Most of that programming was designed to make you constantly strive for more, to basically build you into a lack consciousness so that you do not ever feel like you have enough. It's sad, but it exists. So logic is only going to get you so far. Your heart, on the other hand, if you can purify your heart, if you can truly get to the point where you can forgive and love and compassionately care about people without needing anything from them or expecting anything from them, and on a true level, I mean, it's one thing to say that, but it's a whole other thing to truly look inside and realize that you mean it, okay? And that takes soul searching. I'm sorry, but it does. There's no easy, you can't just click a button and you're done. You can't just download an app and now you're spiritual. Like, I'm sorry. Like, maybe some people, a near-death experience will just shift them. For me, I had 3 near-death experiences, and they shifted me slightly, but I was, I'm a Taurus, so I'm stubborn. So it took more than that to truly shift me. And I think that most people, they just got to be open to that. Be open. Let it kind of work through you. But if you're, like I said, if you're stuck in that loop, follow your heart. And if you don't trust your heart, that's the problem. That's the bigger problem. If you cannot trust your heart, you have to fix that. The only way to fix that is forgive yourself. If you can forgive yourself for your past and your present and your future, all of them, not just in this life, but in all of them, and if you can truly meditate and tell yourself, and sometimes you have to look in a mirror and say this out loud in a mirror to yourself, I forgive you. I have compassion for what you were going through, and you made the best choices that you could in the situations you were in. You grew from them, you will learn from them, and you will not let those patterns of your past dictate who you are now. I know it's a lot, but if you do this consistently, day by day by day, and you really reaffirm your positive beliefs in yourself, you will start to trust your heart. And then your heart will start giving you actual guidance, and you'll start seeing synchronicities and coincidences and things that just don't make any fucking sense. And that's when the magic happens. So yeah, I think the overall theme of all of this, and we're going to end it now because it's getting a little crowded in this place that used to be a nice little quiet place, but it is getting close to the lunchtime out here in downtown, so there's more people. So we'll end this on this. Break out of your old patterns, reaffirm your positive beliefs, do some self-talk, look in a mirror if you have to, and really start to love yourself, and if you do that, everything else will be fine. This has been fun, and we will do another one next week because, third time's the charm, right? Bye.